मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महाबलान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनस्य भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 70, verse number 6. So here Sri Sukadeva Goswami is describing the morning activities of Sri Krishna. So in the previous verses we studied how Krishna he woke up early morning when the birds were chirping, the roosters were crowing and the bumblebees they were humming. So he woke up and he did Achman, then he meditated on himself. So now he continues to describe that. यथा प्लुतोऽम्भसि अमले यथा विधि क्रियाकलापं परिधाय वाससि चकार संध्योपगमादि सत्तमो हुतानलो ब्रह्म जजाप भागयतः. So after that he took bath in pure water and then he performed the morning duties. He dressed up paridhaya vasasi. So there are only two sets of clothes which are mentioned here. Vasasi is in Dvachan, which means dhoti, and the uttariya or the upper cloth, chadar. So there is no mention of shirt. Dwarka is not called. And chakara sandhyopgamadi sattamo. Then he did Sandhya Bandhan, which is done by the Dvijas morning and evening. And Hutanalo performed the Agnihotra. And Brahma Jajapa Bhagayata. Then silently he chanted the Gayatri Mantra. So now you hear Gayatri Mantra on loudspeaker. It's very common to chant Gayatri loudly. But here Krishna has said Brahma. Brahma here means the Gayatri. Brahma Gayatri. And Jajapa means he did the Japa. And Vagayata means controlled speech, which means silently. Kriya Kalapam Chakara iti Anvaya. So he performed his morning duties. That is the meaning of Kriya Kalapam. Sandhyaya Upgama Upasnam. Performed the Sandhya morning. Udita Juhoti and Udita Juhoti. There are two injunctions. Some say that you do it after the sun has arisen, some say before that. So different shakha of the Veda have different injunctions. So depending on what shakha one is following, one does accordingly. Upasnam tadadisu sattama param kushla. So he is very good in his duty, but they cannot hear.
They can hear.
So Brahma Gayatri, Brahma here refers to the Gayatri mantra. Upasthaya karma Upasthayarkam vidantam tarpityatmanah kalaha devan rishin pitrin vriddhan mripran abhyarchaya cha atmavan. So Atmavan means Manasvi, or one who has a stable mind. So with peaceful and stable mind, he performed the morning worship of the sun. Upasthayarkam udyantam, when the sun was rising. So many people in the morning they do sun worship. They offer water to the sun. And tarpitva atmanah kala. And then he worships his own kala, his own vibhutis, which are the various devas, rishis, sages, Pitrin, forefathers, Vriddhan, elderly people, Vipran, Brahmanas, Abhyarcha, Atmavan. So he did all this worship. Atmavan Dharya Yukta. Atmavan means with Dharya, which means not in a hurry, that you are running and quickly try to finish it off. So he did it very patiently, without much hurry. Dhenunam Rukma Shringinam Sadhvinam Moktikasrajam Payasvinam Grishtinam Savatsanam Suvasasam Dadaurupya Khuragranam Kshamajina Tilai Saha Alankritebhyo Viprebhyo Badvam Badvam Dine Dine. Then the next thing he gave is charity of the cows. Dhenu. So Dhenu means who is giving milk. And these cows were also nicely decorated. So Rukma Shringinam, they had gold on the horn. And these cows were well disciplined. Sadhvinam, Moktika Srajam, they have garland of mukta, pearl. And Payasvinam, Grishtinam, they were giving nice milk. And they have given calf for the first, means they were very young, like 3-year-old or something. For Savatsanam Swasam, they had their calf, and also they had some cloth on top of them. Rupya Khuragranam, so their hoofs were also covered with silver hoof. And Kshama Jina Tilai Saha, so these cows were given in charity, and along with that he also gave them silk cloth and deer skin and sesame seeds. So in this way, by decorating all these cows, he donated them to Vipras. And every day he gave. How many he gave? Says Badvam. Badva is some number. Commentator says that it is 13,084. So that many cows. Only thing is, when these cows go to graze in the forest, somebody will remove the gold from their horn. So it looks like nobody was stealing, because otherwise the gold will be gone. So Grishtinam Prathama Prasutanam. So the word Grishti is used for the cow which has delivered calf for the first time. Gavam Dine Dine Pratidinam. Every day he gave charity. Badva Chaturasiti Adhikani Trayodas Sahasrani Dadav. Says that Badva means 84 more than 30,000, means 30,084. Yaduktam, as it is said, Badva Chaturasiti Agra Sahasrani Trayodasha iti Badvam Badham Ekam Ekam Badvam ityartha. And why Badvam is repeated? Because every day he gave that many cows. So that itself is a lot of charity and takes a lot of time to donate that many cows. 13,000 is a lot. Govipra Devata Vriddha Gurun Bhutani Sarvashaha Namaskrityatma Sambhutir Mangalani Samasprishat. So he gave respect to cows, to the Brahmanas, to the Devatas, to elderly people, to the Gurus, and people, living beings in general, all around. So he gave respect to everyone, not only human beings but also trees, animals, birds, respected everyone. So after bowing down to all of them, Sambhuti, which are all the vibhutis of Bhagavan, then he touched auspicious objects. So he also touch, like touching yogurt, pot full of water, coconut, banana plant. So these are auspicious things to be touched. So he says Mangalani Samasprashat. He touched these auspicious things. Mangalani Kapiladini. So Mangala, he says, also includes Kapila, cows. Type of cow called Kapila. So touching the cow, that is also auspicious. Atmanam bhushyamasa naraloka vibhushanam vasho sviyai divya shraga anulepanai. After that, he decorated himself, put ornaments. So all this he was doing without putting ornaments, simple dress, dhoti, which is called vesti, right? And uttariya, these two pieces of cloth, he was only dressed in that. And after that, then he puts his special ornaments. Naraloka vibhushanam. Although he himself is the ornament, and he is the ornament for all human beings, but he also ornamented himself. So he put nice dress, again dress, maybe that one he changed. Vasudhir bhushanai, their ornaments. And Sviyai Divya Sraganulepana, he put nice garland. So that means before that, when he was doing all this puja, he did not have garland. So putting garland and doing puja, they don't go together. So that's why it says Sviyai Divya Sraganulepana. And he put on the paste, sandalwood paste on his body. Avekshyajyam tatha darsham govrisha dvijadevataha kamansya sarva varnanam paurantah puracharinam pradapya prakriti skamai pratoshya pratyanandata. So now he does something more. He also looks at some other things. After dressing, then he looks in the mirror. And he also touches ghee. So earlier, the touching was some articles were not mentioned. But he said Aveksha Ajyam. He is not touching but looks at ghee. So looking at ghee is also auspicious. Better keep some ghee in your room so you can look. And then he looked into the mirror. So like after dressing the deities, you also show him the mirror. So adarshan. And then he had darshan of cows, bulls, brahmanas and devata. So devata means deity. They must also have their family deity. So he had darshan of them also. Then he fulfilled the wish of other people, the people of the city, of all varnas. Earlier he gave charity only to the brahmanas, but now he says kamansya sarva varnanam paurantaha purucharinam, that fulfilled the wish, desire of all the varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So whoever came there, God is wish fulfilled. Antahapur Charinam, also people who are working in the inner quarters. Pradapya prakriti kamai. So gave their desirable objects, prakriti. Prakriti means the subjects, which means the ministers also the common people. And pratyoshya pratyanandata. So by satisfying them, he felt very happy. So this is his happiness. Sometimes people have this idea that God is enjoying, and then because we have our own idea of enjoyment, so we think that he is also enjoying like that. So he does not enjoy like that. He enjoys, he takes pleasure only by giving pleasure to others. That is his pleasure. So this is mentioned here very clearly. Pratoshya pratyanandata. That after satisfying them, then he felt very happy. So that's his pleasure. So that's why he is personifying love, because love means you feel happy by giving happiness. So Krishna is doing that. So there is no commentary in this. संविभज्याग्रतो विप्रान् शक्ताम्बूलानुलेपनैः श्रुहृदय प्रकृतिदारान् उपयुङ्क्ते ततः स्वयं. So then he also offered garland, tambula, sandalwood paste to the brahmanas, to friends, relatives, ministers, and also to the queens. So he was also giving all these articles to his queens also, Prakriti, Dharan, and then only he used himself. So just like you offer everything to the deity and then you take prasad, so Krishna is also doing that. He is offering everything, including garland, tambula. Tambula was a very common thing in the past to be offered as a mark of respect. So when you receive some guest, you offer that. And anulepan means the paste. Some fragrant paste is given, put on the forehead. So this is what he did, and he was very happy to do that. So now he has completed his morning duties. There is no mention here of breakfast, but we can assume that after that he took his breakfast, also met the family people, children, maybe did something with them. Janaki, you have a question or your hand is just up?
A question. And I'm sorry if you already explained this, but in the last shloka, what does it mean that he looked at ghee?
Just looking.
And what was the purpose for that?
Ghee is considered as auspicious. Ghee, yogurt, cow, brahmanas, pot full of water, banana plant, sprouted barley. These are considered as auspicious articles. So by looking at them, you feel happy. They have, just like these days, there is a lot of talk about energy. Malti is the energy master now. So certain things have positive energy, certain things have negative energy. And you can actually even test it with a meter. Recently, one energy master visited me and he had a machine. And it was quite interesting. He showed me that you write Om And everybody knows how Om is written. And there's a like this crescent type of sign on top. So that has to be to the right side and not completely on top. And he said you write it in two ways, one on the right side and one completely on the top. And when he put it the machine to the one when it was on the top, it gave negative energy. And when to the right, it showed positive energy. Similarly, this swastik sign, at the end it has to turn, it has to bend. If you don't do that, it is negative energy. But if it is bent, then it is positive. And he was showing it. The machine actually showed that this has positive energy. The swastik sign, if you hang it on the wall, that gives you negative energy. If you put it on the ground, it gives you positive energy. So that's why in the yajna, etc., they make it on the ground.
Very cool.
So therefore, some things are just cool to look at. And they send cool energy to your mind. So that's why they are called auspicious. Auspicious means that they send energy to your mind, to your brain, to make it calm. And there are other articles which are not auspicious, so that means they will cause disturbance to your mind. So that's why you have good omen, bad omen. So looking at ghee, looking at yogurt, looking at cow, these are all auspicious things. But early morning you get up and you look at a donkey, and I don't want to say another animal which also starts with D, because people will not like that. So that's all negative energy. So now you see so much negative energy people keeping in their house. Purushottam Prabhu.
Two big questions. If swastik most of pagan traditional put at the entrance of your house or apartment something, so that also is a negative energy?
Yeah, if it is like on the wall standing, I think so. I'm not sure, but I had a swastik sign hanging in my room, and he says, as soon as he saw that, he says, remove this and put it on the ground. He says the sign is made properly, but it should not be hung. No, I don't know about making on the wall, but generally I have seen it made on the floor.
The question about the ghee. If you just see the ghee or even if you ingest the ghee early morning, it also auspicious?
Yeah. The energy is going right inside.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So tavat Suta upaniya sindanam paramadbhutam sugriva deirharayuktam pranamya vasthito agrataha. So then at that time his driver, chariot driver, the Daruka, so he brought that most wonderful chariot of Krishna, which was yoked by his 4 horses, beginning with Sugriva. Krishna's horses have names: Sugriva, Balahaka, 2 more I don't remember, they are given in Amar Kosh, names of the horses. So Pranamya Avasthito Agrata, so he came and he bowed down to Krishna and stood in front of him, ready for him to take a ride and go. Because then he goes to the assembly house. So samvibhajya bhagaso dattva vipran viprabhya shragadin upayunkte bhogartham jagraha. So he gave that garland, etc., tambul to the brahmanas. And then he also gave to his wives, queens, and then also accepted himself. Then the chariot driver came. Grihitva panina pani sarthe stamatharuhat satyaki uddhav sanyuktaha purvadrimiva bhaskaraha. So then Krishna, he rode onto the chariot by holding the hand of the chariot driver, means because you have to go up. So he is there, so he takes his hand and assists Krishna to sit down in the chariot. And the two other persons who were with him were Satyaki and Uddhava. So they also sat with him. And now he says that Krishna appeared just like the sun rising from the eastern horizon. So sun is also supposed to be riding on a chariot of 7 horses, which are the 7 rays of colors of his light. And his chariot driver is Aruna. That's why you get the dawn first before he comes. First you see the chariot driver, then you see the passenger. So first dawn comes, that is the chariot driver. Then you see the sun. So he came and he sat down. Krishna pratham ikshitaha arthat satyaki uddhavadibhi. Pani anjali bhutau dakshinena panina grihitva. So pani anjali bhutau means with both hands he took Krishna's hand and he rode into the chariot. So the chariot driver was standing with joint palms like that, and Krishna holds him and then goes up. Ikshito antah purastrinam shavrida prema vikshitaihi krichad vishrishto niragat jataha soharan manaha. So when he sat in the chariot, then he was seen by the ladies who were inside. They were seeing with love and shyness, coyishly looking at him, and it was very difficult to bid farewell to them. So Krichrad Vishrishto Niragad. So they bade farewell to him with great difficulty. Then he left, and when he was leaving, he was smiling, and in this way attracting the mind of the ladies who were standing there. So Krishna Pratmam Ikshitaha Arthat Satyaki Uddhavadibhi. So Krishna was first seen along with Satyaki and Uddhava. Kidrisha Ikshitaha Antah Purastrinam Savrida Prema Vikshitai. So he was seen by the ladies from the inner quarters, and they were looking at him coyishly, full of love. Tvad viraha tapam imam katham sahamahe iti. As if they are saying, how are we going to tolerate separation from you? Iti Vayagriya Vyanjakair Buddha iti Shesha. So, as if they were seen full of anxiousness because of separation from him. Tatasya bho adhiraha etan matra virhenaiva vihavli bhavtaha. And as if now Krishna, when he is smiling, as if through his smile, he is saying that, oh impatient ladies, you are being disturbed only by this much separation. Ayam aham adhuna eva bhoktum eshyami iti asvasya venjika haso jato yasya. He says, I'll be back soon for lunch, so don't be disturbed. You go and prepare the lunch. By the time lunch is ready, I'll be here. So, as if he was indicating this message by his smile. Tatasya manye tadrish hasenaiva manoharan krishradeva visrishta tat premavaloka bandhad vimukta san niragat. So now as if Sukadeva Goswami is saying that I think that the smile which he gave to them, he had stolen the heart of his beloved wives, and becoming free with great difficulty from the bondage of their love, which was seen in their eyes, the way they are looking at him. Then he left them and went away. So now he is going to the assembly house, Sudharma. So that Sudharma is being described here. Sudharmakhyam sabham sarvair vrishnibhi parivaritaha pravishadyanivishtanam nasantiyanga shadurmayaha. So he entered into the assembly house called Sudharma, which is the assembly house which came from heaven because it belongs to Indra. So Indra's house is here now. And he was surrounded by all the Vrishnis there. Yannivishtanamna santi anga. So anyone who enters this Sudharma, he is not troubled by the 6 types of problems, Shadurmi. So there is no hunger, no thirst, no grief. What else is there? No delusion, no old age, no death. So all these 6 things. That's why Devas are called Tridasha, because they sit in this assembly house, so they don't get old. They remain young. Swaitam ekekasman mandirad ekekenaiva prakashena bahirbhuya tattat purasthais tattat prativesibhissi janaireva lakshito natu anyehi. So he says that in this way Krishna came out from each palace. So he is coming out from 16,108 palaces. So there are 16,108 Krishnas there. But he was seen by each palace people as one coming out there, because the other palace is at a little distance, so they don't see that. So he came, and the people of that particular palace, they saw him like that, and also whoever is nearby, but not by others. Means people of down another palace did not see Krishna coming from another palace. Prithak prithak pratolya sudharma sabha gopur vartma paryantam agatya tatra punareki bhuya sudharma sabha tueke neva prakashena pravashati iti smaha sudharmakya. And then when they all have come out and he moves towards Sudharma Sabha, so by the time he reaches at the entrance gate to Dasa Dharma Sabha, then he is only one there. So there are not so many of them. And therefore, when he enters inside, he is only one and he is seen only as one person entering there. So that is being described here. तत्रोपविष्टः परमासने विभुर्बभौ स्वभासा ककुभो अभाषयन् वृतो नृसिंहैर्यदुभिर्यदुत्तमो यथोडुराजो दिवितारकागणैः. So there Sri Krishna, he sat on a very nice throne and he shone there, illuminating all the directions by his effulgence. He was surrounded by the best of the Yadus, Nrsimhair Yadubhir Yaduttamo Yatha, and he was the topmost among all of them. He appeared like a moon surrounded by stars. That's how he appeared. Tatropamantrinam Rajan Nana Hasyarasair Vibhum Upatasthurnatacharya Nartakyas Tandavahi Prathak. So now, because when they go to the assembly house, the purpose there is to take care of the problems like administrative problems or some judicial problems. So all these things are solved by them. But since there are no problems here, so what do they do there? Some entertainment. So there were some comedians who came there, Nana Hasya Rasair Vibhum, and they try to entertain the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna with the different types of jokes and presentations. And they sang with different types of musical instruments such as Mridanga, Veena, Muraja, Venu, Tala, Dara. Dara means conch, Swanai, with the sound of all this. So they had kartal, conch, drums, flutes, and string instruments like veena. Nandritur Jagustushtuscha Suta Magada Vandina. They danced, they sang, and there were the different class of the Brahmanas such as Sutas, Magadas and Vandis who recite stotras, prayers, Puranas, tell stories, and also some praises of the king. So in this way they were singing all that and bringing pleasure to Sri Krishna. Upmantrinah parhasakaha, parihasakaha. Upmantrina refers to the comedians. Natacharyascha, it also refers to the Natacharya, means those who dance and act. Then there were also Andrajalika, people who do magic. So different types of magicians coming there and performing their magical tricks. So this is an old art, doing magic. It's not new. So Prithak Swaswa Samudaya. So they have their own groups. So comedians come, they recite poetry, make people laugh. Then some come and they do some acting, solo acting, mono acting. And then some magicians, singers, they give their performance, dancers. Satya Tatra Nandritu Jaguscha, they sing and dance. So Sutadhyastu Tushtuvu Ere. And the Suta etc., they don't dance, they only recite stutis, prayers. That's what they did. तत्राहुर्ब्राह्मणा केचिदासीना ब्रह्मवादिनः पूर्वेषां पुण्येषां राज्ञां च कथयन् कथा. There were also some brahmanas sitting there, and these brahmanas, they were expert in the Vedas, so they recited the story of some kings from the past, so they also listened to that. Brahmana Brahma Vedam Ahu Vadino Vadan Chatura. So Brahmana means those who are expert in reciting the stories from the Vedas and Puranas. So when all this was going on, then one person came there. Tatra ekaha purusho rajan agato purvadarshanaha vigyapito bhagavate pratiharahi praveshitaha. So when all this was happening, then one person who has not been seen before, he entered, or he was brought in by the guards at the gate, Pratihara. And he was introduced to Krishna that this person has come with a message for you. So he came there. Sa namaskritya Krishnaya pareshaya kritanjalihi rajñam avedayad dukkham jarasandha nirodhajam. So he bowed down to Sri Krishna, who is Paresha, who is the Supreme Lord, with joined palms. And then he related to him the message which he brought from the kings who have been captivated by Jarasandha. So Jarasandha was very powerful, and he has captured. So that this is what powerful kings would do. They go around and attacking and bringing other kings into their control, and they have to give him tax, every yearly tax. So that's how kings get their money. So Jarasandha has also captured a lot of people like that, a lot of kings, 20,000. So India had many kings, small kings. Somebody has 15-20 villages under him, he's a king. You have some 200 people army with you, you're also a king. If you have 5-6 elephants, 15-20 horses, you declare yourself as king. So yecha digvijaya tasya sannatim cha yayur nirpaha prasahya ruddhaste nasan ayute dve girivrajay. So he was going around conquering kings. At that time, anybody who did not, there was a condition that either you accept his lordship or he is going to fight with you, and if he defeats you, he would take you as a prisoner, POW, prisoner of war. So those who refused to accept him as their boss or their emperor, so he captured them, and in this way he got 20,000 kings, and they were all put inside the prison in Girivraja, that is his kingdom. So Dve Ayute means 10,000, Dve means 2. So that's a lot of people. He must have a big prison for them, and then feeding them every day. Some dal rice, still you have to feed 20,000 people every day. You know from where they get so much food. If you have to make chapati for 20,000 people, each person takes 5 chapati, you need 100,000 chapatis. There was no chapati making machine in those days. At least we have machines to make chapati. It's a big arrangement. So now this is the message which he is reading. Krishna Krishna Premeyatman Prapanna Bhayabhanjana Vayam Tvam Sharanam Yamo Bhavabhitaha Prathagdhiyaha. Very interesting sloka. Shows how people's mind is. So they are saying Krishna Krishna, that O Krishna, you are Aprameya Atman. You are immeasurable, unknowable, you are unlimited. But you have one quality, that is Prapanna Bhaya Bhanjana, that you destroy the fear of person who takes your shelter. Which means, please, you understand why we are calling you Prapanna Bhaya Bhanjana. Vayam Tvam Sharanam Yamo, we take your shelter. Why? Because Bhava Bhitaha. Because we are afraid from the material existence. But we are Prithagdhiya. Prithagdhiya means what? That we are not aligned with you in our heart. We still have desire to enjoy. So then how they can be called Sharanagata? Vayam Tvam Sharanam Yamo Prithagdhiya. So this shows the human mentality. As Arjuna also said that I am surrendered to you, please instruct me, but I will not fight. So then where is the surrender? If you surrender, then you don't have condition for that. And if you are putting condition, then that is not surrender. Or you can say this is conditioned surrender. So that the person doesn't feel I am not surrendered. So then it's a conditioned surrender. Like conditioned love, which is not love, but it doesn't look good to say that this is not love. You say, no, it is also love, it is conditioned love. So this is conditional surrender. So tesham vigyapti maha shadabhi. So their message is being related by this Duta, this messenger, in 6 verses. Tatra te prathamam sharanam ashrayante. So first thing they do is they take shelter of Krishna. Because then only Krishna will help. If you don't take shelter, why should he help? Krishna Krishna iti ader dvitvam. So twice they repeat Krishna's name. So that twice can be out of respect or out of their anxiety. Aprameya atmaniti tat swarupam agyatva api prapannaiti. So aprameya atman means that we don't know you, you cannot be known. So this is indicative that although we don't know you, still we have taken shelter of you. We are prapanna. Prapanna palakatvam eva gyatva sharanam yama. So we are coming under your shelter because one thing we know about you, that you are prapanna palaka. And that is good enough for us. That you take care of one who surrenders to you. So we are totally dependent to you. So the most important principle of surrender is Goptritve Varnam Tatha. So to accept, there are 6 principles of surrender. Out of them 1 is primary and 5 are secondary. So the primary principle of surrender is Goptritve Varnam Tatha, that I accept you as my shelter. You are my protector. and we know that you give protection, those who take your shelter. So therefore, although they are calling him as Aprameya Atman, or one who is unknowable, but that does not mean that we don't know anything about him. Means you don't know him fully, but you know something. Prithak dhiya tvada bhaktau prarthana parityajya ta prithak bhute sviya dukhatrane eva dhi yeshante. So we are prithak dhiya means we are not your devotees. So therefore our prarthana, our prayer is not that please give us bhakti, we want to be your devotees. We are not praying for that. Why? Because we are prithak dhi. Means we have our own independent interest. That is the difference between bhakti marga and any other path. So bhakti means that you don't have independent existence. Your existence is not for something independent, but only for sake of Krishna. So that is called surrender or devotion. But they are themselves saying we are prithak dhiya means our interest is basically in mukti. So therefore mukti is also not part of bhakti. Dharma projita kaitu atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. So this is also kaitava. In bhakti there is no wish for mukti. Punyabhilashita sunya jnana karmadi anavrita. So there is no covering of desire for moksha or svarga. So prapanna palakatvam eva gyatva shranam yama prithak dhiya tad bhaktau prarthanam parityajya. We should be praying for your bhakti, but we are not praying for that. Tatta prithak bhute sviya dukha trane. And therefore we are only praying that please liberate us from this captivity of Jarasandha, so that we can be freed from this suffering. So that is the significance of Prithak Dhi. So then there are 5 more slokas in which they continue to pray to Krishna. Read them tomorrow. Purushottam Prabhu.
The last line which you read from the Tika, verse number 25, is it tad bhaktau or tad abhaktau prarthana parityajya?
Yeah, this abhaktau is wrong. Because they are not giving up the prarthana for a bhakti. They are giving up the prarthana for bhakti. So tad also doesn't make sense here. It should be tvat abhaktau, tvad-abhaktau. It's a mistake. Okay. क्या प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं? पढ़ो जरा.
Satya Sadhana, she says that Sri Krishna was in many palaces at once, and Narada saw Lord Krishna each time he entered different palace. Is such vision due to advanced spiritual realization of Narada ji, or is it that many palaces were physically present and other citizens could also saw if if allowed by Lord grace?
This is only came in the commentary. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur himself said it, that Krishna wanted Narada to see this, therefore it happened. Otherwise, other people who are living in Dwarka, they don't know this. So Narada has a wish to see, that's why he came there. And Krishna fulfilled his wish, so he could see him like that. Padho kya hai?
Mohini ji has a question. She says, you translated the word Mandara from verse 1072 with Parijata tree. Is Mandara a synonym for a Parijata? Because according to Amarakosh, these are two different divine trees.
Well, this is how the commentator translates. Okay.